There we go. I think we're good.
Yeah, it's going on live soon.
Yeah, I can see that little live in the corner there.
Yeah, that's cool. So we are going live now, Kelly and Haley. Yes, we are live now. Welcome, everyone. This is once again your host, Shailesh, bringing you amazing speakers. And today we have got one of those amazing speakers where she's not across the ditch. So she's our neighbor from Australia. So it's absolutely a pleasure for me to introduce. And I don't need to put that in words, but I can say one thing about her with her energy and full that we are bringing. This is a Real Connections episode with another speaker, which is we are going to uncover her life journey and her all the wisdom that she is going to share with us. So I will call her because just like her statement of her profile that happy and well. So anybody listening, happy and well and living in the present. This is exactly what Kelly is in nutshell. Happy and well and living in the moment. So she founded this Happy and Well with a belief that happy lives begin with healthy choices. So I'm going to uncover a lot of choices that we all have. We are spoiled for choices. And I think we also have restricted choices after COVID, possibly. But let's see whether these choices really restrict us or whether do we want to restrict or do we still want to live happily? So because her motto says, happy lives and live in the present, there is no such thing as restriction of choices. Because when you live in the present, we absolutely want everything that is there in the moment. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce Kelly Kingston, who is across the ditch once again. And I also am having with me my co-host, lovely Haley. As you know her by now, that she is got an amazing kind of a background. I love that art.
That's like life background or literal background.
Yeah, the background of the art that you have put on the back is amazing.
Just a few of them.
Yeah, just a few. So that's just a few glimpses. So
yeah,
let's see.
Bit of a gallery going on in my house.
Yes, yes.
And in my head.
Yeah, so I'm going to get straight into it and we are going to talk about Kelly Kingston's life journey. So we will be asking you and interacting with you. It's a free flow interaction from Haley and myself to you, Kelly. So I've now go to Haley and just talk a little bit about this real connection that she's going to uncover also from you. Over to you, Haley.
Oh, wow. I want to know everything. Obviously, I know you've probably already shared a lot about your past with people. I know you've got a lot of information online and so forth. I want to hear a lot about that from you, obviously. But what I'm actually really, really excited to hear is what you have planned for this year and the future. I wanna know the gossip.
Wow, so you want to know a lot of things. So before do that, let's go to Kelly and see what she wants to say about herself, because it's all about real connections that we are connected with her. So I'm going to jump to Kelly and give her a little bit of introduction. I could give a little, but she can throw more light on her own journey.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Shailesh and Haley, for inviting me on your talk show today and interviewing me. I'm really honored. I have so much going on at the moment. We are just about to launch Happy and Well on the 2nd of January, and it is going to be absolutely amazing. The reason why I created Happy and Well, or co-created Happy and Well, I should say, was for 16 years, I was in international business strategy, supporting people in setting up business profiles and creating their own businesses. And I was a wellness practitioner before that, and dibble-dabbing in the spirituality realm and on so many different levels. And then I had my daughter in 2014, and then I took a little bit of a back seats role in all of the other businesses. And then I was called to write my first book in 2017, which is Your Ultimate Wellness Business Guide: What Frequency is Your Business Vibrating At? And that was supporting the heart-based spiritual entrepreneur to get out of their head and into their heart, to co-create a business planning aspect from their heart instead of having to think about it. When creative heart-based entrepreneurs feel that they have to actually go in with their head, they go, oh my gosh, it's just too much. I'm in overload. And I really, honestly, I know what I need to do. I just don't know how to structure it or plan it. And so putting that book together was absolutely amazing. And I had a book mentor, and it was really, really cool. But seeing and going to expos and festivals and meeting my other, my sisterhood and my brotherhood at other events that they were selling things and doing massage therapy or any kind of alternative modality, and asking them what they do or how they do it or how did they get started on their journey, they would always bring some aspects of their personal traumas into their business. And that, from my perspective, looking in, was stopping them from accelerating in their business. So this was happening all around me for such a long time. And I've just gone, oh my gosh, there's got to be something that, I can support other people in. And one day I just woke up and go, oh my gosh, I need to write a healing guide that supported me on my healing journey. And so I was only going to be writing one book and then adding that into the Wellness Business Academy, which was my previous business. And then that one book then turned into two books, and then that two books turned into a journal, and then that journal turned into a jewelry range and a deck of cards and so much more. And so now creating over the last 4 years, Happy and Well is the healing and wellness ecosystem that supports transforming and making those hard traumatic changes that we know that we need to make, but we don't know how to do that. How do you make those changes? How do you step in and know what to do every single day when you get up? Because when I was going through these changes 15 years ago, I didn't know what to do. I didn't know how to go about it. I know that I needed to be a little bit more positive in my life, and I know I needed to make changes and then start to implement different tips, tricks, and tools. But what did that look like and all that stuff? So then I created Happy and Well, and now I'm in front of you sharing.
Wow.
Happy and well.
Happy and well, yes.
You look happy and well, and that's what you bring, happy and well, to our surroundings, to in this room. And I think outside the room who are watching definitely feel energetic when they listen to you. So tell me, take back to your journey when you actually thought that there were lots of things that you wanted to do, or how did you select what you wanted to do? How did you choose what you wanted to do?
Good question. Yeah, good question. So knowing that I needed to make changes in my life because I was heading down a really, really toxic path with people that were around me that were sucking the life out of me. I'm a people pleaser. I still am to a degree. I now have boundaries, and I now trust in my own intuition that I'm getting into a relationship with anybody that is new that are coming in and connecting with me. So I guess when I first started, I read the book The Four Agreements, Don McGraw Wiz. And that got gifted to me. And I've gone, oh my gosh, I hadn't read a book from cover to cover in my whole entire life until my early 30s. And so it was a bit daunting. And so what I did is I forced myself to read this book, and I went and bought 3 dictionaries, because there was words in some dictionaries that weren't in other dictionaries. And so I really wanted to maintain the flow in my new pushing myself and forcing myself to read, so that I can get knowledge, so that I can then better myself, so that I could then start making healthier choices and a whole heap of different things. So reading and getting knowledge was probably the first thing that I did in making solid changes in my life and educating myself.
What would you say the biggest challenge was? Well, once you did start educating yourself like this, did you come across any challenges that did nearly set you back? And how did you overcome that? Or did you just kind of start and you just slowly progressed? I mean, that never happens, right? That's life. Life's not.
So I feel that it was one of the hardest challenges for me was people that were around me, people telling me that, oh, why are you making these changes? You should just, suck it up and just continue on your life, or, people just feeding you what they want you to know, because I feel, looking back now, that they couldn't make those drastic changes that I chose to make for whatever reason. Doesn't matter, whatever reason, but people don't like change. But change is evolving. Every single day there's change. And if we are not flowing with the motion or the energy or the vibration of change, we're going to get left behind. So we, as individual sovereign beings, need to take full responsibility of our lives. And I actually severed ties, and that was really hard for me, because I then became very lonely. And I became very lonely in the fact that pretty well much everyone that was around me didn't understand what I was going through, nor should they have had to, because it's my journey, right? We all need to experience these for ourselves. But they weren't serving me anymore. They were teaching me who I didn't want to be with, for me to then go and take 50 million steps backwards and go, whoa, holy moly, do I really have any friends? Is that what it came down to for me? Because when I actually had to move away, because I was in a very toxic relationship with one of my children's fathers, I had to sever all ties from everyone and literally move my family in a matter of 5 days from our family home to the country, so that I could get to know who I was. Because I didn't know who I was. I knew everybody else that was around me, but I didn't even know what I needed. And I was suffocating, and I was drowning in everybody else's fear, everybody else's language, everybody's interpretations of their own lives, so much. And food was a huge thing. I was comfort eating, and so I was just eating anything. And so to bring that question back, it was a little bit of everything in my life, but the main one was people, knowing who I didn't want in my life, or knowing that I didn't want those people in my life, to then go, whoa, okay, I have no reason to stay here anymore. Let's go somewhere where we can grow. And I was then I became a single mum of 3 children. And then we all got to experience that transition of mummy coming back to herself and really taking full responsibility and full charge of who she is, who she was, who she wanted to be, and how she wanted that to look.
Beautifully said. I like that.
Yeah. This brings me to this very interesting journey of yours, the mindset or the change of your mindset after experiencing all of this. What would you say, and how did you change your mind settings at that point?
Yeah, I had no idea how I was going to do that, to be totally honest. And then one day I was talking to a lady who was a naturopath in the small country town I moved to.
Yeah.
And that was probably 6 months to 8 months we were living there. And I was going through a lot of headaches and knowing that I didn't want to think about that. And I didn't know how to make all those changes happen within my mind, and flicking on and flicking off the negativity. You're not worthy. Well, how dare you take your children away, and you know, all of that stuff. So what I ended up doing that really supported me was I went and bought chalk pens, and I got a deck of cards from a spiritual shop that were inspirational and motivational, because I couldn't speak to anybody because I'd severed ties with everyone. So I just didn't understand. I had no one to talk to be able to transition through this space. So I started just writing beautiful, positive affirmations all over my windows, all on in the bathroom, where I looked at myself every single morning and I just wrote. And everything was positive, and I was rephrasing and reframing this back to myself on so many levels, so that I could then know that if change was meant to be, it was up to me. And I just honestly, I was so ready for it. I was really, really ready for it, and I embraced it like, come get me. I knew that the life that I was living was killing me. The day that I look back now, and one of my pivotal moments was I was getting anxiety. I was getting anxiety because I was not living the life that I wanted. I was not living healthily. I was making very poor choices for myself and my children. And one day I couldn't even get in my car, that my anxiety was that bad. And that I stayed inside, and I was rocking backwards and forwards, and I was just like shaking, and anyone that came near me goes, don't touch me, or anything in that space. And then my dad came over one day and picked me up and took me to a naturopath. And the naturopath did a live blood analysis on me, and some bioresonance. And I think I was 26 at that stage. 26 or 25 or something like that. And so when I got all my tests back and everything, they do a biological age test. And my biological age at the age of 26 was 68 years old.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So that was my biggest eye opener, when I started to make tiny little changes in my life. But yeah.
So did that impacted your mind at that point, like when you saw this all of a sudden, or what was going through in your mind?
Oh, that I thought I was going to die.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm 68 years old in a 26-year-old body with 2 little kids.
Wow.
Have you gone back and done that test since?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I actually own one of the machines now. I actually own both of the machines.
I need to come over. Can I come to Australia?
Yeah. You can come.
I think yeah, that's a good actually analysis that even Haley would love it to do it.
Yeah.
I'd love to know, is there any, if there were two things that you could tell your children in terms of living a happy, positive life and accomplishing the kind of things you have,
Yeah.
what would they be? What would be the takeaway that you would want to give them? What would you want them to pass down to their children and so forth?
Yeah, so the first one would be, and I do actually do this with my children, is that one of the first ones is to respect yourself. I feel that the children of this generation don't respect themselves on an internal layer or level because of how instant everything is externally for them. So they don't feel or think into that space. So respecting themselves is the first one. Because when we respect ourselves, we respect others. And that's just, the law of physics and it's just a divine natural law that would actually come out. And the second one, what would that be? Oh, okay. As a mother, make sure you tidy up after yourself. And that's just not your room or anything else. That's, in the bathroom, in the kitchen, when the children, and now my oldest boy is 21, and he is just now, after 21 years with his mother, he is just starting to do these processes right now. And he goes, oh my gosh, Mum, it feels so good. I'm just like, oh, really? It's taken how long? But yeah, so, you make your bed in the morning, a tidy room, a tidy mind, a messy room, a messy mind. And I've seen that in so many of my children's lives as they've grown older. And keep a tidy life and respect yourself. That would be probably my two highest ones.
Well said. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, so I wanted to ask you one more thing, Kelly, is at a young age or at that age when you thought this is something that was not happening the way you wanted or was not really liking whatever was happening, how did you manage to change that mindset to do something that you like? Or was it like you were going as a trial and error basis, or you had thought through and doing, or you were just randomly picking up to do things that whatever you wanted? What was?
Yeah, good. Another good question. So I as I was educating myself through this process, and what I did is if I thought it and I felt it and I've gone, okay, that feels really good, and just coming back to myself, then I would just do it, because it's not about should I do it or should I not do it and procrastinate in it and on it or whatever. When you're making changes is a thought. Okay. And the thought can then become a reality, but you have to then put action into play.
Yeah.
Okay. And so when you put the action into play, that has to be, okay, well, I'm just doing it. I'm just going to make it happen today, now, right here, and do it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I would love to know, and same as the audiences who are listening, like thoughts keep coming to us, but we have that's why I call it thoughts becoming things. Otherwise, thoughts are just thoughts if you don't become things.
Yeah.
But the interesting bit is like it's an ever changing and ever kind of evolving in that situation. And you have to make choices that you want to resonate with you, not good or bad, but felt with you. So, those kind of positive thoughts we come, or negative thoughts. It's not positive, negative, but it's the thoughts that keep coming. And then you are allowed, or you are asked to choose the thoughts from there. So how did you thought that, okay, this is my thought, or this is, I want to do it, like.
Yeah. So that's coming back to taking back charge of your thoughts, your feelings, being aware of that whole space. And so how I took charge of pretty well much 90% of my thoughts were negative. Okay. And so 10% were pretty well much positive. And so there was a process that I learned, and that was, I'll just share with you. So this was a negative thought: lipstick. Don't put lipstick on, because you'll be, looking like somebody that, a red lipstick in particular, that, is always out on the town drinking and blah, 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 blah. And so that was the negative thought. Oh, no, I can't put that on. But the AirPods, you can wear the AirPods and they're positive. They're going to feed you with beautiful meditation music. You can dance and all that kind of stuff. So if I had a negative thought, I would then know that I had a negative thought and then shift my mindset to that positive thing and imagery. Okay. And then once I actually, because this is what I did, I had actual physical products in front of me that represented something negative, then represented something positive. And so then to be able to change a thought, you need to represent it with an image or a thing or a product or something. And so once I mastered that, then I could then close my eyes and then imagine a thought coming in of, someone coming into my life and mistreating me, or whatever the situation was. And I had an image of that in my mind. I would then go, oh no, I don't allow that process to take over my thought patterns. So now I'm going to move to a balloon. And a balloon is playful and happy, and you can play with it in your mind, and you can imagine and visualize yourself playing with that. So I switched my mindset and my thought pattern to something that made me feel good. Okay. It can be anything. It could be a flower, it could be the beach, it could be the mountains, it could be horseback riding. I really love horseback riding, and horseback riding, that image of me galloping up a mountaintop where and my hair, blowing in the breeze, and me visualizing myself going higher and higher and higher and into the mountains was my go-to place.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's a good analogy, that you have choices, and this is what you do as well. What you do is select choices.
Yeah, absolutely.
When you have choices, so always wisely choose or consciously choose. But what resonates with you is more important than good or bad or right or wrong. So if it resonates, then it will work. If it not, then it won't work. Does that make, I can take away from this, what you're saying?
Yeah, absolutely. So bringing the awareness of being present with your presence is the best gift you can possibly give yourself. And when you can feel the feelings in that space and really then tap into your intuition, and you can then be guided by that on so many different levels. And I do believe that this is a process. This, I don't want to put any rules around it, because there aren't any. But for me, really stepping in and feeling the feelings and knowing that, that gut instinct around the intuition and identifying the difference between, oh my gosh, that feels really, really scary, or that feels really, oh no, I'm not going down there, I'm going over there instead. And that took a long time for me.
Right. Yeah, no, that's good. So what basically I could see that, for all the listeners who are listening, there are lots of positives that outcomes that you can achieve or you can come through by just selecting your choices
Yeah.
and just making the right choices. But the right choices is not about good, bad, but what resonates to you. That's what I get it from your conversation that we are having. So yeah, more and more positives, outcomes that we would like to hear from you, that how did you uncover your own journey with all these positive thoughts or changing those negative into positives and making those right choices to move forward until date. And as Haley mentioned at the start, she wanted to know a lot about the future vision and the current vision that you have. How do you manage these positive outcomes and how do you make these positive outcomes that you are looking for, basically? So that one should be looking for really only positives, or what is positive to you outcomes means. What is really positives to you? Because it's a very confusing like thing when people think, oh, I'm not positive or I am not negative, or that kind of thing. But what is to you positive means? Is it a shift of mind? Is it a choices? Is it change of?
Yeah. I believe that positive for me is like doing what I feel is going to light me up. Something that is not only then light me up, but then when I'm around the people that I choose to want to be around, it lights them up too.
Yes, of course.
Inspiration.
Yeah. So I feel that, yeah.
Like, how did you make your surroundings, your efforts, or did you took any efforts to, make that positive situation, circumstances, environment around you, whether it's people, whether it's going out in places where you like to have that positive environment? Do you think it's quite important?
It totally is very important. It is extremely important that you put yourself in the right environment. Okay. We cannot heal in a toxic environment. I tried it. It's impossible. Well, impossible means I'm possible. I felt at that particular point in time that I could not move forward in the direction that I chose to want to move forward, that I could see in my mind's eye where I wanted to be in that environment. So I had to take charge. I had to just, honestly, I'll tell you what I did. I didn't know whether I was going to make the right choice or not by leaving the man that I felt that I was in love with. And I was in love with him. I definitely was. It was just, two polarities coming together, and he was here and I was here, and then he was down here and then I was up here. And so we were just missing each other. And it just became he said, she said, manipulation, narcissism. And I was getting caught up in this spiral. Okay. And I could feel myself saying all these nasty things. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this makes me feel so terrible. So what I did one morning, because I couldn't make the decision, I couldn't bring myself to literally just thinking about it and saying, yep, I'm going to do that. So what I did is I woke up one morning after crying, and I was crying morning, noon, and night for about 6 weeks, going, I just don't know what to do. I'm stuck. I feel so stuck that I just can't move forward. And I didn't know what I didn't know to be able to make those positive choices that I defined earlier on in what I spoke about. I'm answering your question. So I sat there at my laptop, and then I typed in an area that I wanted to live in. And I printed off a map of that area, and tears are rolling down my face going, I can't believe I'm doing this. And then I printed it out. I sat on the floor, I crossed my legs, and then I gained my composure, and then I said to myself, if this is meant to be, I'm going to put my finger, and I wriggled my finger around this piece of paper, and where my finger landed and there was a school, that's where I was taking my children, because I didn't know where to go. I didn't know what to do. So I let it up. I just let it flow and released all control around that space. And so my finger landed on a little country town called Kalani, which was 2.5 hours away from where I lived. And so the next day I drove out there in my car, and then I had a look at the real estate, and there were 2 houses for rent. And one was this beautiful 2-story house, and has like a spiral staircase in the middle, and white carpet, 7 bedrooms, 2-car garage. And in the city, you would pay $600 and something a week for this property. And so I get there, and it was like $240. I've gone, oh my gosh, I could afford this. This is going to be beautiful. Anyway, I'm talking myself through this while I'm walking through this house going, I can do this. Yes, I can do this. And so they said, would you like to put an application on the property? I said, yes, I would. So I'm sitting there in the lounge room with no furniture around it, obviously, because it's vacant, filling in this application form. And I gave the lady all my identification and then emailed her through other bits and pieces. And that was on the Tuesday. And on the Thursday, I got accepted on the property. And then I started packing up. And within 2 weeks, I was in that house.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
So was it so hard for you to do that at that time?
Do you know what? Once I actually found the property and I was accepted on the property and I knew I had somewhere to go, it was a no-brainer. I wasn't stopping, and I was packing. Yeah.
I mean, because decisions like that once in a lifetime are very big decisions, whether you buy or whether you get into a relationship or whether you buy a property. They are big decisions of your journey.
Yeah.
And they can go this way or that way, and then you can feel regretful or non-regretful or happy. But looks like your nature being very happy. So were you always like this? Your nature is like, okay, take it, whatever it is, or were you quite sensitive in terms of you're dealing with all sorts of situations? How would you describe yourself?
I would say that I have always been happy-go-lucky, and I'm really I'm an empath and extremely compassionate and a giver. And so my whole life I'd be giving and supporting and nurturing and because that was a symbolization of a little bit of my mother and my father and, my siblings that I grew up with. I suppose, I suppose that I grew into it more and more when I was going through high school and being bullied and having other friends being bullied and seeing my mum being bullied, that it was just the norm. Bullying back when I was at school wasn't a real bullying thing. It was just how people just treated people, which was very poorly. And so, yeah, I just really wanted to.
So were these things that you had, bullying or setbacks, was one of those things that made you different path or go down, or actually empowered you to do something different when you had all these situations?
Is this when I was younger?
Yeah.
So I didn't realize back then that was a thing.
Yeah.
I just flowed through life. Like I did the 40-hour famine you know, when they used to do the 40-hour famine. So I would always do the 40-hour famine because I wanted to have no poverty on our planet.
Wow.
And when I saw, you know, all the little kids and everything that they were the same age as me and a whole heap of other things. So for years and years and years and years and years, I did the 40-hour famine. And then I would always say to my mom, you know, why there's enough money in the world, why is there poverty only in some countries? And that used to make me cry. And yeah.
Okay. Cool. Ellie might have some questions to ask.
Yeah. Again, like I said earlier, I'm not sure how much time we have left. I know you have an interview afterwards, which I want to hear all about. Actually, I want to hear all about everything that you have planned. Before we started, you showed a few books and stuff.
Yeah.
Showed it up to the camera, and I've been thinking about seeing that this whole time. It looks so vivid and colorful. I'm excited to see it.
Okay. So, in Happy and Well, I created a process that you could support creating happy habits in your life. And these processes and tools were different bits and pieces that I picked up along the way on my healing journey. And so when I felt that I felt called to creating this, I was really bringing everything together that supported me on my journey. But now it's in the one-stop shop. And so I created 3 online videos, online courses that supported making changes in your life. And so I created an e-magazine, which I give to anyone. I gift it. So anybody that's knowing that they want to make changes in their life in any way, shape or form, I then go, and they don't know where to start, I then go, here you go, have this free e-magazine and get started. There's 4 processes in the e-magazine. And the first one is coming back to your breath. When we're anxious and we're in a fear state, or we know change needs to happen, and we just get busy being busy, or we suppress our emotions and we go, oh no, don't worry about that. That seems like it's going to be too hard. We lose our breath and we forget how to breathe properly. So coming back to the breath is one of the first things in making any change in our lives, so that we can then bring in full awareness and create that relationship with self. The second one is our voice commands our mind, body, and spirit. So watch what comes out of our mouth. Okay, so it's really identifying, okay, so how do I really want to be treated? So I now need to treat myself that way, all that self-talk, all that everything. I really, really, really need to own that. The third thing is take full responsibility for your actions. And then the fourth one is watch what goes inside your mouth. Okay, so then it's a 7-day meal guide that supports you in knowing what foods to eat at what times, and you get to choose. If you only want to eat breakfast and lunch, you eat breakfast and lunch. If you want to eat breakfast, snack, and lunch and afternoon tea, you eat it. It's totally up to you. You are led by the whole process. And that's the e-magazine. And so then the next level up from the e-magazine is called online course called Making Changes. And Making Changes is that supports you in implementing those tiny little changes that I shared with you. And so the first video is about intention setting. So now we write down what we don't want. Yep. Right. And then we can burn it, rip it up, throw it in the bin, put it in a snap-lock bag, hang it from the tree, or put it in an envelope and send it back to ourselves, and then burn it and really experience the experiences. So that was the course number 1 and 2, and they were all fun and action play. So it doesn't have to be scary and fearful and all that kind of stuff. My brand for Happy and Well is playful. It's fun. It's vibrant. It's energetic. It's a high vibe brand. Yeah. And so that was making changes. And the second online course is In Your Life. And I really wanted it to be consistent because people go, well, I don't know how to make changes in my life. So I said, like, I'm going to name my courses that. And so In Your Life is functioning efficiently in your now. So when we're making changes, how can we implement 1% every single day that supports us going, oh, wow, that felt good. And knowing how other people speak to us and then standing up for ourselves and going, well, you know what? I've put up with how you speak to me for over 5 years now. And I wanted to let you know that I really don't like the way that you are speaking to me. So I would like to just suggest that if you keep speaking to me this way, the two things are going to happen. I'm either going to accept it and still stay there, or I'm going to say, look, I can't either work for you anymore. I can't be your friend anymore. Or if it's, your sister or your brother or something, you work it out as you go. Like, I can't speak to you for a little bit. We're having a break, and that's it. So really, really, really implementing physical things for you to be able to stand in your power and start to own that. Okay. Things happen for us, not to us. We need to remember this. So if you want this to continue and you don't make changes, well, change won't happen. And then you will then just go deeper and deeper and deeper into that suppressed state. And then there's just some other little things. And then the next one is called the Art of Change. And the Art of Change is all about if we're wanting to heal ourselves, we need to know ourselves. And that doesn't mean from an external physical perspective. This means from an internal physical perspective. So we go into the quantum theories about how many times our heart beats, how much blood runs through our veins per minute. And so just bringing the awareness of, all the internal aspects of self. Another good one is negative emotions are stored within our tissues, within our body. And so that and then I actually brought it to life in my book. So we need to unleash the issues in our tissues to balance our feminine and masculine energies that we're feeling into today. And so that's where this book came to life. Ooh. And this is called Naked, Skin Deep. And then it's all about unleashing issues in your tissues to balance your masculine and feminine energies.
Do like a rhyme.
So in the Art of Change, and that's the secret formula. I use 4 words. And the 4 words are, you need to acknowledge that change needs to happen. And that's the first one. And when you acknowledge and you just go, okay, yeah, you then need to recognize within your situation and in your life that change is possible. And then when you can actually recognize that change is possible, you need to realize it with your real eyes and then go, okay, yep, we're doing it. Yep, okay, yep, no, yeah, we're doing it. And then once you actually then realize it, you then go, oh, okay, yeah, I can do this. The 4th one is potential. So when we can realize it with our real eyes, we then can see the full potential in making that change in our life so that we can then move forward to being the best version of self. So, and that's a 4 online course series. And so after that, then we go into the sacredness of the physicality of flow and movement. And I feel as a I'm going to say human race, as a mankind, sovereign being, that we've lost the touch of knowing how to release the things that no longer serve us in our lives. So I then created
Oh.
Wow, the cycle.
So The cycle is your next chosen cycle that you choose to want to bring into your life. And this is a luxurious gift pack that you gift yourself. And it's a lifetime tool that whenever you need to make changes in your life, you pull this off the shelf and you then can start to make changes in your life. So I'm going to share with you about the cycle. So the cycle is an acronym for change your current life experience. Okay, and how do you do? So remember how I said earlier that I had affirmation cards, and then I literally wanted to just smother myself in them because I needed to be more inspiring and motivating with myself to bring out the goodness in where I was going. So I created, all the while looking at myself and going, yes, okay, things happen for me, not to me. Things happen for me, not to me. I need to really own this. And then once I was actually stepping in and making changes, and some of those old habits were coming back in, forgiving myself instantly for allowing that to happen and moving forward. We don't stop. We keep going. We slow down and we keep going. So I created these beautiful cards, and they're called the I See You cards, and it supports releasing what no longer serves to be able to receive what does serve. Okay. And so when we look at the cards.
Oh, they're so sweet.
There's a mirror.
I love that.
And so when we actually go in here, so it's all about releasing. So we're writing down, we're manifesting, we're releasing. And so the first part is we open up the cards, and then on the front of every single card, there's a little mini mantra, and it is, I see you, I hear you, I feel you, I acknowledge you, I love you. And so you say that to yourself while you're looking at yourself in the mirror. And each day you pull one card, and a card a day. And so for the first releasing deck of cards, there's 21, because they say it takes 21 days to break a habit and 21 days to call in a new habit. So we have a 42-day change your current life experience. And it takes 1% each day. So one day, 1%, one card, one word, to feel into your feelings, acknowledge the feelings, and then action the feelings. Okay. And so these I dreamt about for years.
Oh, colorful. I like that.
Yeah. So these match the Healing Guide book. So as we're releasing, we need to then have tools to be able to support us in. One of the biggest things was me being in crowds of people and then taking on other people's energies, because I was releasing, but I didn't know how to call in. So, and I didn't know how to protect myself, and I didn't know how to do so many different things. And so once I actually then understood what was actually really happening to me, I started belching, like burping, and I've just gone, oh my gosh, did that just come out of me? It sounded like I just drank a carton of beer. Not that I drink a lot of beer. I don't drink beer. Yeah. And so when I created the book, I really wanted it to be a healing experience, so that, you know, you had tools that could support you on this journey. But if they didn't support you, you now knew that that's not in alignment with you, so that you then could rule that out and then go searching somewhere else. So it was still that 1% of not knowing, that 1% of knowing what you didn't want in your life, to then go looking somewhere else to find what you do want in your life. And so when we make changes, and I know that you're both going to be fully aware of this, we change at a cellular level. Okay, you can't know. So at the front of my book, it's the divine interconnectedness on a cellular level from an atom perspective of knowing that when changes happen, they happen at a cellular level.
Wow.
And they're the colors of my cards.
Wow.
And so on the second page, so we're then, it's internalizing and going, okay, yep, if I make changes, so then that could happen and that can happen and that can happen. And then I drink more water and then I eat beautiful, healthy food that has no dense energy that's around it and a whole heap of other things. And oh my gosh, before you know it, you're starting to feel absolutely amazing. Not great, but we're getting there. Baby steps, right? And so on the next page, we're calling in the 13 energy centers for and from the chakra system, the divine interconnectedness, color therapy, and the elementals. And then just to top it off, we bring in the jewelry range, which is the crystals that align with every single chakra that supports you on an energetic frequency and supports you on the healing journey. So here's some I prepared earlier. So these are the cases.
Oh, that's beautiful. That's lovely.
I thought Shirley would love it.
Yeah. I haven't even looked inside, just the package.
Hayley, you're going to love it when I open the box. So
I don't know if I want to see it. I'm going to want it to.
I've called the healing jewelry or the happy jewelry. We thrive, so that when you're wearing the jewelry, you're thriving. And so here is one of the mala necklaces, and this is the rose quartz crystal.
Wow, looks beautiful.
And then I'll just quickly pop it down there like you can see. And then we have the bracelet. And I just had some charms made, and you can see that the logo of my brand is on the bracelet and on the necklace.
I love that. I can see two people holding hands, but it looks like a goofy smile as well. I can see a few different things in that logo at once, but they all exude the atmosphere of joy, no matter how you see it.
Absolutely. And that's what I really loved about creating that brand. But the interpretation and the perception that people could see when they were looking at it, it didn't matter. And they go, oh my gosh, is that a dog? Or is that a smile? Is that two people holding hands? And who cares? It's fun.
How does it make you feel?
Yeah, how does it make you feel? Fun. And so when you're wearing the jewelry, and you're embarking on the 42-day change your current life experience. And here's some I prepared earlier. So I've got a bracelet on, and then I've got a mala necklace on. The jewelry becomes your honoring piece and a symbolization of you starting to make those changes in your life right now and change your current life experience. So when you embark on the journey, you make an agreement with yourself, because it doesn't need to be made with anyone else. Nobody else needs to be a part of this journey other than you, yourself, and I, or me, myself, and I. And so I'll just share a little bit about this with you. So the agreement to honor my word and speak my truth. This agreement was made on this particular day for the purpose of increasing my personal freedom and love for life. I am totally responsible for creating my own heaven on earth, and it begins with honoring my word. I choose to honor my word and promise to speak with integrity, and to choose my words carefully that I speak about myself and to others. I intend to use the power of my word for truth and love. I will take action every day to keep my word in honor with my agreement, I will repeat this action until this new habit is firmly established and no longer requires my attention. And then the symbol of my commitment to this agreement is drum roll.
Wow.
And that's the jewelry range. And so I have smoky quartz crystals, the citrine, clear quartz crystals.
Oh, nice.
So we have the 13 different crystals that resonate with the 13 quests in the healing guide that support the 42-day change your current life experience. And then we have the journal. So as we're writing, we're releasing. So we have to keep getting everything out, getting it out, getting it out. And then as we're writing and releasing, we need to start to move our body so that we can then create that energy in motion flow. Okay. Releasing the energy that no longer serves us and really flowing with our body. So I have created, I didn't fully create these, but I created the body mantra, and it's not an exercise and it's not a yoga. It's just bringing flow back into the body. Just flow, nothing else.
I love that last one. Can I see a close up of that last one? That's great.
That's just doing a dance and then a big fat roar at the end, and and just getting those energies out. Like instead of getting angry and yelling at somebody, you just get in there and get it done. Move the body and just let out a big rah right at the end, and bring any negative energies, any aspects that no longer serve you. Just yell it out, and you just yell it out to the universe, and the universe will just deal with it as it does, right? And so and then from there we have the 30-day vegetarian meal guide.
Oh,
Vegetarian meal guide, awesome.
Yeah. And I have a candle, but I haven't brought that in with me. So it's a little candle that on the day of signing your agreement, you light the candle and you bring the light to you in every aspect of the word. And that's what I've created for the healing and wellness ecosystem.
that's beautiful. I feel like maybe you need to send a few packets to the people that you had to cut off earlier in life. The question I would like to ask is, I know that a lot of the time people, they avoid change because they are fearful, which I know you were going through when you had to cut, a lot of people off, which is unfortunate. But I'd love to know how many people have seen your journey over the years and have come back or mentioned to you how they feel about it now, or how many of these people have been able to be helped by you that you are aware of, even though you had to cut them off at one point.
Yeah, so that era of my life I never went back to, and I never really reconnected back with any of those people. My friends that I went to school with and my family, they all saw a dramatic change in me. Nobody really said anything because they were really aware of my stance on judgments and opinions at that particular point in time, and that if they weren't making changes in their lives, who were they to even talk about me in my life? So I really made that explicitly clear, that if they wanted to be in my life, that it was on my terms, and I was going to fully and 100% respect them because I respected myself. But if that changed, then I would I would be stepping back out of the relationships. And so, yeah, so it was test and trial. There was
a lot of strength though. There's a lot of weight when it comes to cutting relationships off like that. We feel a lot of emotional responsibility for other human beings, so it can take a lot of strength to do that. And I'm sure there are at least a few of them who are secretly buying some of your new gear.
Maybe
I'm really watching you and regretting regretting trying to stop you.
Yeah, if I hear people go into a place of regret, like I don't regret anything in my life, because if I had regrets still and I held on to those regrets, I wouldn't be the person I am today. And the life lessons that had led me to who I am, that I didn't know at the particular point in time that, you know, life was happening for me, not to me. And as soon as I grasped that, it's like, oh my gosh, I can actually breathe.
Ride the wave.
Ride the wave, yeah.
Ride the riptides.
Yeah, like
you're fighting against it. You just like with it.
Yeah.
And then you'll find yourself in calm, beautiful, peaceful ocean. Enjoying the view, feeling the water, feeling the currents in the flow.
Yeah. And it doesn't say that I still don't get challenged right this very moment. You know, I have 4 children, 2 stepchildren and 3 granddaughters. And yeah, I still get challenged. I still get my buttons pressed, but now I'm a lot more knowledgeable and a lot more wiser in handling those situations. And sometimes, yeah, you really, really, really need to reflect on the situations. And sometimes I'm still having to forgive myself. I'm perfect in the way that I am currently, and choosing not to have those not so nice life lessons is something that I don't want to choose to have, to actually embrace.
So do you want to reconnect sometimes at some stage that what you had been through and how you positively made those changes? Now moving forward, do you think that reconnection helps you in like thinking about those moments and then making those changes now moving forward, and at this stage of your journey, how do you make weightage to those experiences that you had, pleasant, non-pleasant? You don't want to go back to unpleasant experiences, obviously, but like the situation uncertainty that we humans have, we don't know what situation we can come through in our life or the universe gives us. So what's your mind state at the moment? Like, how have you trained yourself, like before training others as well? You are training, but how you have trained yourself?
Yeah, so I think this is how I'm going to answer that question is, I used to control or think that I could control any situation. And I planned it. It's like, okay, this is how this is happening. And so I have now since have been placed in situations where I have no control. I can plan, but I need to have the flexibility around knowing that, man, it's not going to happen that way. It's going to happen this way. And I've just gone, woo, okay. So knowing that I we don't have control over, what happens or anything. We can have the intention to, okay, this is my intention and this is how I want to choose to live my life, and then move in that direction and have tips and tricks and tools to be able to support us and give that our best crack. But when things get really hard, like really, really hard, I felt that I'm going against the grain here. I'm pushing, going uphill, and I've got like a ton of something, and I'm trying my hardest to get it up there because I think that that's the right thing to do. But then I just let it go, and I just go, okay, the expectation around that and the perception around that, there's totally changes.
I think you feel so much stronger when life doesn't go to plan and you work through it, and often it actually works out better. And then you think, wow, I didn't even expect that. I had no idea what was going to happen, and I owned it.
Yes, Hayley, you own it. Yeah, it's very cool. And still sometimes, like in, creating a business and getting everything out there, you have to have some aspect of control, right? You can't just go, oh, I'm just going to leave it up to the universe and the universe is just going to provide for me. It's no.
No, exactly.
No, that's not the case. The universe can provide. You have to set intentions. You need to work on things. It's like it's changing. It's evolving. You need to evolve and change with the times, and still plan stuff and get stuff crack-a-lacking. We're still, in a physical living environment, as on our soul journey.
Yes. Yeah. Evolvement is one of the key message that everybody should understand. Like, we are living in an uncertain world, or uncertain journey, we can call it. There's no certainty of anything in our life, but there's one thing is certain, that the evolvement, we can evolve, we can keep evolving, and that's what it is. So we can keep exploring and we can keep evolving.
Yeah.
So I think very well. Thank you once again very much for this beautiful insights. I think that what you have shared today, also good books that you have written, which is very powerful.
Yeah, thank you.
Powerful. It's not just about food that we every day eat. It's not about just, our own self well-being or healthy living or living in the moments. These are all some of the key things that you have uncovered today, which all audiences should really soul search themselves, that what is important for them, or what is really, when you evolve or when you try to live your journey, what is more important, what routinely you do, and how you can connect yourself and how you can connect with many things that you need, basically. So I think it's a great insights, Kelly. Once again, thank you very much for your insights. And I think I'm gonna leave you here, but I'm gonna ask Hayley, because she has got lots of questions and desires of the future. So your future journey, and we will be looking at closely about your future journey as well. And then we might ask you to come back again to give us tips and tricks.
Maybe.
Tips and tricks. But Hayley, I think you can go ahead and ask anything you want. It's your chance now.
How much time do we have? We didn't quite start at the usual
time. We got a few minutes, no problem.
Few minutes.
Yeah.
Oh, he kind of said it. I mean, you've come up with all of this stuff, you've created it all. I know it hasn't quite been launched yet. Is there anything else that you're planning to focus on this year? Obviously, you have so much energy. I can't imagine you being the kind of person who would just stop and be happy with that. I feel like you're constantly planning. You've got things you're excited about.
Yeah. So in Happy and Well, we have 3 pillars. And the first pillar is the pathway to honoring self. And that's everything that I've shared with you today. The second one is your pathway to self-abundance. And that's where my business planning guide and the essential oil and the mantras will come in. So after we've done all the internal healing and moved through the triggers, moved through life, releasing what no longer serves you, calling in what does serve you, that you can be on purpose to live your passion, that then steps into your financial abundance. Okay, hey, now you can create sustenance in your life to now be financially sustainable. And so then the third pathway is your pathway to self-love, and that's all our events, our workshops, our festivals, everything that we create for an in-person kick-ass event will happen over there in that space of our business. So yeah.
I guess the next question is, when are you taking it to New Zealand so I can go?
The best thing about this, Hayley, is that anybody that shows interest in wanting to be able to be a part of Happy and Well, I've created a and this is where the healing and wellness ecosystem comes in. Okay. You get to heal and be paid at the same time with our affiliate program.
Ah, I see.
Yeah. So anybody that has the affiliate link can share it and scream it from the rooftops, and they then get 5% commission off everything that anybody that buys or invests in themselves from that affiliate link. Everyone gets commissions. And not only do they get commissions for the first year or the second year or the third year, they get commissions for the rest of their life as long as they have that link. And so that's the financial stability aspects of you still get to heal and get paid at the same time.
Wow.
Right. Perfect. Yeah. So I think you have anything to add, Hailey? Then I can wrap up.
Besides just saying, I think you're epic. I love your energy. I've enjoyed listening to everything that you're saying. It makes me so happy to see someone coming up with all of these fantastic different things, but you're bringing them together into a beautiful story and something that someone can be excited about. They can revolve their day around part of it. It can be almost like a self-care spa treatment type feeling, and well done.
Oh, thank you so much, Hailey. I would just like to really just share one last thing.
Sure.
Absolutely.
On every aspect of the journey, I kind of was going, oh my gosh, is this right? Is this wrong? Is this right? Is this wrong? Because that's what we're taught, right? We're taught that's wrong, that's right. Don't do that. Do this. Blah 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 blah. And so, for me to change that, I had to have faith and know that having faith was going to support me on this journey. And not only did I have to have faith in something external, I had to have faith in myself first and foremost. Yeah. So I just really would love to, just finish off on that note that having faith within yourself is a really, really, really big part of making sustainable changes in your life.
Yes, absolutely. Very well said that. I think I like to add one more thing to that, Kelly, is you are not just the founder of the Happy and Well, but you have actually made everyone happy and well today. And I think all the listeners who are listening, what I take away from here, for me personally, message is like healthy life is, how do we do healthy life, or how do we live healthy life? Is your message was living in the moments. That's one thing which is very prominent, because we always, every single moment we breathe, and we want to live every single breath is good for us. So that is healthy life, basically, what you have connected with. But also then the other bit that you said is making the right choices, or the healthy choices, you call it. And healthy choices are not just for food, but also for their understanding and who you are and how you live and how you want to live and how you want to accept everything. So I think this is a key message for me, is like healthy life, live in the moments and have healthy choices, which I want to stress to all the audiences that these are 3 ingredients that I take it. You may take something else, but this is what for me, because when you accept these, then you will have the opportunity to get to know yourself first. And so to do that, you got to get out of your own way and love who you truly are, basically. So if you do that little simple things, make your healthy choices, live in the moments, and always look for that healthy life, because life is only once that you have, that we know. So let's make it more healthy. This is where I end up here. Thank you once again, Kelly, for that great insights of you. And we would love to know more about your books and products that you have launched and you are looking forward to. I think Hailey will be more excited for you to come to New Zealand as well.
Show me all the jewelry.
Yes, look at that. Show me all the jewelry. So this is all a good, healthy mindset, that we crave for. And I think you have summed it up very nicely with the cycle and all that books that you have written, diet. So once again, thanks. Absolutely pleasure to talk to you and know you more about your life journey. And for all the audiences, life journey, everyone has got different, but I think the choices and the healthy way you want to make it is what Kelly has given us, a little path which you can all follow. And if you have any questions, please do so. Kelly will be happy to answer your questions and also give a feedback on this episode that you would like. And if you want specific things for your healthy choices or healthy life, please do ask a question. Thanks very much once again.
Thank
Bye
you so much for having me.
Bye for
Thank
now.
you.